Hi guys, welcome back, and this is now week 8. We are getting into the work. Right now, this next 6 weeks are going to be at full speed. Get this and take back your life. Right, the last time we look into, in a surface way, the grudges, what do we do to show to the world how disappointed we are, and what is the payoff. But now this week we're gonna go a little bit more in depth about it, and especially what I want you this week. I want to give you a homework that I want you to keep it in a journal from today for a week time. Right. So let's review quickly. The grudge. The grudge is what as children and today as adults we do to show, first of all, to the one that we love, to the one that has allegedly provoked this negative reaction in us, that we are unhappy, that our needs have not been met, that I've been disappointed, my trust has been broken, that I feel betrayed, abandoned, unwanted, whatever the case might be. What do we do to show, firstly, to the one close to us, to the one that did this, or allegedly we have the perception that this was done to us. Secondly, to the world. And this is important. Very important that we realize that we choose this. I am choosing sulking. I have selected sulking. In my younger age, like I discussed in week 7, sulking as the better way for me to reach my hoped payoff. Now, in week 7, I have explained what is the payoff. Now, this is something else. Because now, what I personally know, what I personally found out is that I very well know when there is something that upsets me, when there is something that provokes my panic and rage. I am obviously very acquainted to it, and if today I'm here in the position of teaching you, is because I have arrived to quite a bit of awareness, not necessarily control all the time. Talking about awareness, I'm completely aware of that. But the interesting part, am I aware of what I want instead? And this is the key component of week 8. Week 8, we begin real understanding, or better to say, we begin planning. What is it that we want instead? Why? Because if you come and you say to me, but Guido, I'm really, really unhappy. Oh, what is it that you want? No, I don't want to be so unhappy. Fantastic, but what is it that you want instead? I want to be happy. Oh, that's a very shallow answer. Most people come to me and say, I really just wish that I would stop to be so anxious. Well, the fact is, so far, what you're telling me is what you are. What is it that you want instead? What is it that you want to feel instead of anxiety? What is it that you want to feel instead of depression? And this question seems to be disarming because, like, well, isn't it that obvious? No. And as much as it wasn't obvious to me, I am pretty sure that it's not obvious to you. The journal will want exactly that. I want you to write yourself down. What is it that you feel? And what is it that you want instead? So, I want to give you an example. If I say, let's say that I feel that my wife is not hearing my struggle, not hearing my needs, my inner child needs, because at this point in time I really need some nice hug and some reassurance that I am the man she loves, then, maybe I feel that she gave me a signal that I perceived that she didn't, and then I sulk. But then if somebody would ask me, what is it that you want? The correct answer would be, well, at this point in time, what I really would like is that the person that I adore in my life, which is my wife, would come to me and give me just a sign of love, just even a hug or a small kiss, and just tell me that she still loves me, even though maybe I behave like a, let's not go down that way. Right. Now, do you understand how this makes a huge difference already? Do you understand me when I'm verbalizing in and analyzing and verbalizing a need that I have? Then the question is, well, I got two choices here. Either I continue and I'll be a sulker for the next 3 to 4 hours and expecting my beautiful wife to turn around and make her life about my word and read my mind and understanding what she should do in order to take me out of my own state of misery, or I have an alternative to that. The alternative is that I go to her and I tell her what my needs are, and maybe she'll take me out of my state of misery much quicker without any further sulking. Now that, to me, it's important. But if I remain at the sulking stage without analyzing and verbalizing the second part, what is it that I want instead? I will remain in a state of sulking. For how long? I don't know how long is what is psychology called the refractory period. How long do you stay in that negative frame of mind, in that negative feeling, in that negative emotion, before you are able to snap out? Now, this is a fundamental part. Your job for the next 7 days is to take a journal and write it down. The event that causes you the negative emotion, what was the grudges that you used, okay, and what is it that you want instead. Now, you'll probably notice that between the time that you have that immediate reaction and the time that you can actually effectively write down what is it that you want instead is not as quick, and you will be unable to do it in the midst of the emotions feeling. And in this case you will say, no, but I can't. What you will realize is that once that feeling, that turmoil, then the panic and rage now lowers slowly, stop hijacking you, the amygdala, and you remove the fight or flight response. Therefore, you give more blood flow to the brain. Some of the cognitive function starts coming back. You will be able to analyze the situation a lot quicker, a lot better, a lot more in depth and precise. And that is true. And I'm not expecting you right here, right now, that you will be able to explain, detailing, rationally, and everything what you want instead. But what I can tell you is this. Firstly, is removing a very important part, because when I realizing that I am sulking simply because of my perception of the other person not understanding my need, that's very powerful. You want to rehear what I just said? I said I sulk when I perceive that the other person is not hearing, understanding, and complying to my needs. When I review it, my perception. And yes, because the majority of time that we employ a negative reaction, it is your perception. If it's your perception, you are the one, supposedly, to have to tell to the other person what is it that you want instead. When you realize that, you realize what power there is in such a small little gesture. As much as when the feeling comes through, your panic comes through, your rage comes through, and goes to the mind, it has hijacked your amygdala, fight or flight response kicks in, blood flow to the brain reduced to the minimum, no ability to rationalize, long time before you regain control and you are able to effectively respond to the circumstance. Like everything, practice doesn't make you perfect, it makes you permanent. But you also master what you practice. Maybe you will never become perfect, and nor am I. But it is my responsibility to become a lot better than what I was. Firstly, because who suffers the most in that state is me. I don't want to get better so that I don't cause pain. I want to get better because I don't want to cause myself pain. Because I can try and be spiteful and more resentful than possibly can even imagine. But the resentment only hurts the person that holds it. Or like Nelson Mandela said, and many before him, resentment is drinking the poison, expecting the other person to die. I want to master this because I suffered enough. And I want from now on to limit my sufferings. What I want from you is exactly the same. Now, I send you my all love for this beautiful week ahead. Looking forward to see your exercise. I'm looking forward what is going to come out of this beautiful, magnificent, powerful homework. To everybody, and from this beautiful scenery, I wish you a very good week. I'll see you next week.